Good morning, Terraria players, and welcome back to the Anarchist mod. Today we'll be showcasing the newest beta for the 1.3 update of this mod. How do you get access to this beta? In the Anarchist mod Discord, there's instructions and a file link to the beta. Just follow the instructions to get access to this beta build. I will warn that the current beta, which is beta 2, requires a dependency, scaly structurizer, and it's currently a bit unstable. It should be fixed by the next beta though. The next beta video will take a bit to come as the next Anarchist update is being ported to tmodloader 1.4 now that it's stable enough. And now, with the intro out of the way, let's get into the overview. So, what does this beta do? For starters, the 1.3 update is an overhaul. All previous content has been removed to be replaced with what'll be here. It will stretch all the way to post-Moonlord when the update is fully released, but it'll take a little bit. In this beta, it goes to post-Eye of Cthulhu, bringing Anarchy Mode, the Anarchy AI changes, new structures, an overhauled enchanting system, over 100 new items, new armors and weapons, an overhaul to the Dark Artist class, and even a brand new boss, which we'll cover here. As I go over each section, I'll cover what's new, how it changed, and my own feedback at the end of the sections. Let us begin. Anarchy Mode has returned, and it's largely the same. Enemies have more health, draw more money, and there's exclusive items. Currently the bosses don't have Anarchy accessories yet, and essences of Anarchy, Temperature, and Calaxite don't exist yet. No idea if any of them will return. For feedback, well, there's really not much to say, as it's still too early to tell what Anarchy Mode will bring to the table in terms of items for this update. Should it be as big or bigger than 1.2? Absolutely. It is too early to judge. There are beta roadmaps in the Discord to gauge how the updates will go. Next one is testing for the 1.4 port though. For Anarchy AI changes, currently there are changes up to where progression is in the beta. Eye of Cthulhu, Nose of Cthulhu, and Luna, the new boss, have all their changes. The eye changes are the same from the last version, which is actually great. No need to fix what isn't broken. Can't really tell what Luna's Anarchy AI changes are, as they only did 2 short runs in Anarchy Mode. So far, seems solid. New structures. There are 3 total in this new update: Moon Temples, Abandoned Laboratories, and Armory. There's also Abandoned Chests making a return. Moon Temples are high up in the sky, about where Sky Islands spawn. There's normally around 5 to 10 in a world. I have noticed that they seem to be condensed into groups around the outer thirds of the map though. There are smaller Sky Islands with a small room and a chest that contains several moon-themed items, some starter gear, and some items that allow you to summon Luna. The Abandoned Labs and Armories are both underground structures. The labs hold various hard-to-get potions, some herbs and herb bags. It even has a chance to generate with an alchemy table. Pretty nice. The Armories hold a chest with terrorist weapons, which are Terra-themed weapons that will eventually upgrade into the Terra weapons for this mod. They also have a random gold tier weapon in an item frame and a target dummy. They're also trapped, so watch out. As for feedback, all the structures are good. A welcome addition to smooth out early pre-hard mode grind. As for the abandoned chests, these were massively improved from the last update. In the last update, they didn't hold too good of items, usually like an armor piece or a weapon in silver tier. These new ones now hold very good starter loot, like Hermes boots, lucky horseshoes, and magic mirrors. Big fan of those as it helps to get the content rolling and gets you ready for the eye quicker. Steel and bronze are new to this mod. This mod makes it so that all the ores spawn in the world: copper and tin, gold and platinum, tungsten and silver, all of them. Bronze is made from 2 copper bars and a tin bar. Steel is made from an iron bar, a tungsten bar, and charcoal, which is made from wood. They both have a full Dark Artist armor set and a full slew of weapons, including one from all classes but summon, for now. Combining each of the bars makes 3 bars, so it's pretty efficient to make them. As for feedback, I'm a fan of the style of bars and armor. The combination is a new option for pre-hard mode, and I hope this combination of bars continues on, maybe even to hard mode. Maybe. It adds more options for armor and weapons. Keep it up, I like it. Enchanting got overhauled in this update. In this beta, the UI is a bit buggy, but it's already been fixed for the next beta. To start Enchanting, you need the Necromancer. He has the same spawn conditions as the last update, so just die once. Jumping off a cliff, running into an explosive, being in Brazil, that works. You buy an enchanting table from him for a lot of money. To enchant, you need 3 things: an item you're enchanting, an influence, and a gem sigil. An influence is new and allows you to pick a specific enchantment to put on your gear. Items will say influence next to where they normally say material. That lets you know that you can use it to enchant. The gem sigils are a way to activate the enchantment. I'll correct in the comments if they have another use. I didn't notice one. It's pretty much the same as the last update. The enchantments themselves are largely similar, but the RNG factor is fortunately gone. As for feedback, I don't really have much other than probably to reduce the initial cost to buy the enchanting station itself, just to get the ball rolling as soon as possible. Other than that, the system is fine. Each class has received several new weapons and even armor sets. Summoner has 2 new ones just in the beta alone. It's pretty neat. It's a surprising amount for just a second beta and only Demonite tier progression. They're all early pre-hard mode gear though, so they're not super flashy just yet. The return of Dark Artist daggers as melee weapons is nice to see. I'll have my own segment about the Dark Artist ones in a bit, as I do have thoughts on them. The other class weapons are good and interesting. I like them. The Dark Artist overhaul. How is it? The class has been changed in significant ways. The first being that Lifesteal is currently gone. It'll be back, don't worry. Its reduction in health has been changed to an increase of health, and it's now down to 2 weapon types instead of 4. Don't worry, tomes are coming back. The new weapon types are the staves and the ritual blades. The staves are a combination of how tomes were and totems, converted into magical staffs. Each stave has a right-click ability to summon a specter. They function similarly to totems did, with an AoE that damages enemies and provides buffs to allies. Currently, they don't provide buffs to you unless you have the Band of Arcturus. As you attack with the specter active, it drains Arcturum. You can right-click again to dismiss a specter. Each one so far has its own personality and effects on the player, like one that vanishes after you take damage, and one that increases life regen. When you go negative in Arcturum, as they don't vanish like they did in previous versions, the specter will actually inflict you with the soul reaping debuff until you break even with Arcturum. These weapons are all different from another. Now let's talk feedback about the staves. They have a weird strange delay when firing. For starters, I've already brought this up with the developer though. I'm sure he'll see now what I'm talking about in the footage, as there's a noticeable delay when firing. It happens so far to all the new Dark Artist staves, but only the staves. Not any of the magic weapons, not any of the melee weapons, not even the ritual blades, just the staves. Less noticeable on the Terraria lightning as it fires super fast. As for the other aspects, the specters can be hit or miss currently. Arcturum is currently too low in the beta to really take the most advantage of the specters, and the debuff is pretty brutal during boss fights if you slip up. Currently the damage you take lasts far too long for something that can be caused by accident. A suggestion would be to increase your Arcturum regeneration if you're negative to just offset how brutally slow it refills without potions. The recharge rate doesn't change when negative, and so the damage over time can last very, very long enough to cost you a boss fight. I can see this issue becoming more of a problem as Arcturum costs go higher. These weapons are very unique, very varied, and definitely catch the eye versus the last update's Dark Artist weapons. Keep it up, but please fix that delay when it fires. Now, on to the Ritual Blades, the second of the 2 new weapon types. They currently have 2 functions, attacking and dashing. To attack, you have to flail it about like you're shaking a mixed drink. Dealing damage regenerates Arcturum. To dash, you right-click in a direction. This dash has iframes, so it can be used to dodge a lot. That's about all I'll talk about them, so let's talk feedback. This is very awkward and uncomfortable to do. This is a phenomenal feeling, and I love it. Attacking with these weapons definitely needs a change. While I'd say that the changes to staves that I talked about earlier are not 100% needed to make them better, besides the delay in firing, attacking with these feels terrible and needs an overhaul. Whereas some staves felt bad and others felt very good to use, which is probably because they're pre-hard mode weapons, none of the ritual blades felt good to attack with. 0. Not a fan of this. It's still only the second beta, so I assume something about attacking with these will change because, man, these are almost unusable to the point where the only thing you're doing is dashing with them. Is that the intention? I don't know. I can see the appeal of designing it to be a swing to attack with the mouse, but it doesn't really work out in practice. For the other Dark Artist changes, I'm a fan. I like the health increase that the armor gives, as well as the large buffs that the current armor gives to the player. There's even multiple options for helmets on the armor as well already. Big fan of that. Multiple options for weapon types are good. Still probably gonna stick to just the staves though. The ritual blades are poop. Now let's talk about the new boss, Luna. It's summoned by actually tossing down the moon crystals, then throwing moon sugar on them. The tooltip will be updated in the next beta. Moon sugar is made with fallen stars and clouds. Luna must be summoned at night and in space after the Eye of Cthulhu has been defeated. How is the boss? This is easily the highest quality Anarchist boss that has been made. While the previous bosses were very fun, they weren't exactly the highest quality. Luna is a very large change in quality, and it makes me excited for the other new bosses or even redone bosses that will be added later, like Frostsail. An issue that was in the last version was that the bosses didn't really have a very large moveset, with only like 2 to 3 attacks each. I think Frostron had 4, and he was like very endgame. Luna has quite a number of moves, and they vary. The main issue with her, which has already been fixed actually, is just a large health pool. It has been fixed for Beta 3, but it's a note to let everyone know. Luna is a very good boss. Great job making her, Goat Dev. As for her loot, it is already top tier. She drops an item that changes the time from night to day and day to night, which is an incredibly amazing drop so early. It is an absolutely welcome addition so early on. The weapons are also very strong. Luna is a great boss and can only get better. So that's the beta. A lot has changed and it'll change more as it goes on, and I'm pretty sure I forgot like 1 or 2 things. It has a lot to like and very little to dislike. Staves are good, ritual daggers are poop, the new weapons and armor are great. Luna is a great boss, and this is only the beginning of the betas, and this beta shows that the GOAT developer has hit his stride and knows what he's doing with his overhaul. I'll be keeping up with it and posting beta overviews as they come out. They will of course interrupt other playthroughs because I like the Anarchist mod. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for the next ones. I'll see you all in the next one. Blade Burger out.